Hi, we're being joined by Eric Bergquist with Biocair. And Eric, just wanted to start the conversation off. I mean, we're here at this life science event here at BioBuzz. How did you get into the life sciences sector? What's your story?
Sure. So it's actually a pretty personal story. So my son was born with Pallister-Killian syndrome, which is a very rare chromosome disorder. There's about 300 kids at the time in the world diagnosed with it. So based on my personal experience, life experience with that and with PKS, I was drawn to this side of the industry, looking to help all of those kids with special needs, or even those as it expands into cancer, et cetera, to move the product that's very important to the research globally through logistics.
Interesting that some of the folks we talked to earlier, that was a sort of a common thread, that it was, the better good. There was either some personal story or some, I want to be involved with something that's bigger than me, or I could see an impact somewhere to people at the personal level. And if you had to go back in time, I guess, so where'd you go to school, by the way?
So I went to East Carolina University.
Okay.
Yeah, in Greenville, North Carolina.
So if you had to go back to yourself at that time, roll the clock back, a time machine, what advice would you give to yourself about how to advance as a profession in this industry? What advice would you give yourself?
So at that time, there really wasn't dedicated supply chain degrees, right? When I went through college many moons ago. So I would probably say just continue to study what you're passionate about, because eventually you're going to end up where you should be. In my case, for example, with logistics. I mean, I have a degree in history and political science, but because of the international exposure that I had throughout my education, it led me into to the field that I'm in now.
Yeah, and you made a good point. Now some universities have a logistics program.
There's a lot of supply chain degrees, good universities, absolutely.
And this is a subset of that whole space. So, we're here in Philadelphia, and from your perspective, why Philly and why now?
Why Philly? So there's a lot of investment in this space, in biotech in Philly. One of my daughters actually went to Drexel University right here, and so they've been investing a lot in this space. And so I've known about it through her experience here at Drexel, and then just the media buzz around it as well.
Yeah, interesting you say that, because for years folks always said the ecosystem was here, but the money wasn't here, and now we have both, which is great. The money is here now. So if you look around to it, where you're getting information and insights on the industry, what recommendations should you make to either events to attend, or books to read, or podcasts to listen to? Any insights on that you can share?
So, there's always stuff in the mainstream media. Actually, the Philadelphia Business Journal is a good resource, because they cover not only this space, but many others, and those that are attached to it. So from a local source, you have that. I mean, there's always something in the news about, like, for example, a company like CRISPR and genetic engineering. Right. So I think if you just keep your eyes and ears open, you're going to hear a lot of information in mainstream media, which is where a lot of people get.
Yeah, it's a good start. Then you could bird dog and go deeper in there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know we're coming up to this is a big weekend with the Super Bowl. So any predictions for that?
Well, since I have two kids that live in Philadelphia, I have to say, fly Eagles fly, for sure.
Well, good. Well, Eric, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.